After juggling between the Xiaomi 11T and Realme GT Neo 2, one phone clearly stood out for me, and that's the Realme device. But that doesn't mean the Xiaomi 11T is a bad phone per se, regardless of whether it's a comparison we're talking about or an independent 2-month review like this one. But through that period, I felt like I had a love and hate relationship with the 11T. To all the followers, welcome back and thanks for stopping by once again. And if you're new here, we make tech videos of all kinds, so feel free to sub to get notified of new content. But before we get started, here's a short message from the sponsor of this video. CDKey Offer specializes in delivering cheap and legitimate software and game codes. If you ever need a Windows 10 Pro or a Microsoft Office key, you can buy one at a very cheap price. To do so, just visit cdkeyoffer.com. Search for Windows 10 and choose a suitable copy for you, but in my case, I always go for a professional copy. Before making a payment, make sure to type in the RC20 code for an exclusive 30% off discount. After that, you can choose your preferred payment method. You will receive the code via an email that redirects you to the website of CDKey Offer, and from there you can get your Windows 10 key. Since my Windows 10 copy is already activated, I just can simply change my product key to the new one that I just bought. If you need a Microsoft Office key, the steps are pretty much the same. Just make sure to type in the RC20 code for an exclusive 30% off discount. CDKey Offer provides permanently valid keys with 30 days of return and exchange period. You can check out more deals in the video description below. So, the 11T is the bigger competition when you pit it against the GT Neo 2. It's slightly longer, but at the same time, it doesn't feel as wide as the GT Neo 2. Despite having the same 20:9 aspect ratio, the 11T at times feels like it's the slimmer device. I'm not entirely sure what Xiaomi did here, but the longer I use the 11T, the more it feels premium in my hand, if that makes sense. Well, that's basically thanks to the back-to-back glass construction and the aluminum frame that feels as cold as Russell Westbrook's shooting spree when you're in the holiday season. One area where the 11T clearly has the GT Neo 2 beat is the added IP53 rating against dust and water splashes. So this should give you an extra confidence when riding a bike in the light rain while making the phone your GPS companion. But I still don't suggest using a phone near the ocean water. At this point, I'm already used to the weight of the 11T. It already feels light and handy even when picking up and unlocking the phone with one hand, but it's still prone to accidental drops if you're not too careful. I still miss the headphone jack and the microSD expansion slot, but the Dolby Atmos speakers here will spoil you with their deep and sufficiently loud output that is slightly better than the GT Neo 2. And when it comes to call quality, the outgoing and incoming reception is clear as day. If you're not one of the people who like to nitpick the bezels of a phone, in person, there's near symmetry between the 4 bezels of the screen of the 11T. It may be the smallest concern when purchasing a phone, but having that symmetrical bezels do add to the extra effort put into the construction of the device, like most top-end devices. The haptic feedback isn't as tight and as strong as the ones found on the GT Neo 2, but they're good enough to provide functionality when typing. Overall, despite looking basic in the design department, especially for this white variant, the 11T's look grew on me. I ended up actually liking the design more than I expected it to be. But my most favorite part of this phone is the performance. I know, it may be weird to some who don't particularly enjoy using a Dimensity powered device, but the 11T is a different beast in this regard. Half of the story is the powerful chip inside, while the other half is MIUI. But you're surprised to know MIUI is actually good today. This is actually not the first time I ended up liking MIUI's software performance. In fact, our review of the Poco X3 GT and even the budget Poco MG Pro were two of my most favorite Xiaomi devices in terms of MIUI, and with the 11T, my point of view stays the same. I would even go as far as to say that the 11T's software is smoother than the Realme GT Neo 2's UI. I hardly saw any lags or frame drops, and seeing 120Hz get rendered every single time just adds to the overall good performance of the device. Since my last review, I've only received one minor update, which is the 12.5.9. There are no major changes indicated by the update notes, but it's kinda interesting to see that the 5.9 version is now labeled as the Enhanced Edition. In case you forgot, the Enhanced Edition brings major optimization to the MIUI, which we actually reviewed first in the Poco F3. You can check my separate video for that later. But for the 11T, the Enhanced Edition is more like a minor patch that doesn't really change the way the device performs. On the flip end, I have to hand it to the 11T when it comes to notifications. Comparing it with the GT Neo 2 side by side, the 11T is almost guaranteed to receive notifications first. I mean, for a Xiaomi phone, that's a rarity given how aggressive MIUI kills the operations in the background. But if there's one thing I wish Xiaomi would fix on this phone, it's the cameras. For a 108 megapixel device, the 11T is a hit and miss when it comes to both photos and videos. There are times when the shots I capture look decent and need no edits before posting on social media, but more often than not, I get bland, dark looking shots that remind me a lot of the Poco F3's 48 megapixel camera. And that camera was forgivable given that it was a performance oriented phone. And while the night mode of the 11T still looks okay to me, it's hard to go back to this kind of camera when the GT Neo 2 spoiled me so much with its AI algorithm that makes both the photos and videos really bright in extreme low light conditions. For the 11T, its price is slowly creeping in that flagship category, but the landscape of the phones has changed so much for the past year that categorizing them according to a specific purpose seems nearly meaningless. Today, you now have the option to go for a specific kind of device. Like in the case of the 11T, it's a big phone with a fast display and charging speed that may suit gamers, as the camera performance won't beat the competition. If you just need a big phone that can last for a few years, the 11T can do so provided you can leave an okay camera despite the amazing spec sheet of the sensors. In the end, just like most devices today, you'll have to live with some love and hate with the Xiaomi 11T. That's it for this one. Drop a sub or like if you feel supporting the channel, and until the next one, stay safe.